The big glass walls of the Velar royal palace shined bright in the morning sun. Captain Elena Torres walked fast through the long halls. She was not in trouble this time. Instead, she was helping solve a big mystery. Someone had stolen the crystal crown of stars. This crown was very important to the Velar people. Without it, Queen Astronth could not do the special ceremony that happened every 10 years. The ceremony kept peace between all the planets in their part of space. The palace walls were alive. They changed colors based on how people felt. Right now, they were dark red. This meant everyone was worried and scared. "Captain Torres," said a guard as they walked. "You must call the Queen your Imperial Radiance and stay far away from her when you talk." Elena nodded. She knew the rules. She had been working with the Velar people for 6 months now. She was part of a team trying to make friends between Earth and Velar. The throne room was huge. It looked like a church made of living glass. The ceiling was so high Elena could barely see it. Tall glass pillars held everything up. These pillars seemed to grow from the ground like trees. Queen Astronth sat on her throne. The throne was made of what looked like captured starlight. It was beautiful and scary at the same time. The Queen looked the same as when Elena first met her 6 months ago. Her face showed no feelings at all. "Captain Elena Torres of Earth," announced a man with a loud voice. "The Queen will see you now about the missing crown." Elena stepped forward. Her back was straight like a soldier. "Your Imperial Radiance," she said. "I want to help find your crown. My team has special tools that might help." The Queen's skin was silver white. This meant she was in complete control of her feelings. Her ears were pointed and they caught the light from around the room. "The crown was taken 3 days ago," Queen Astronth said. Her voice was strong and powerful. "Our guards found no signs of how someone got in or out. The room was locked from inside." Elena thought about this. "Your Imperial Radiance, may I see the room where the crown was kept?" For just a moment, the Queen's skin showed tiny golden spots. This meant she was a little surprised. "You think your Earth tools can find what our best guards could not?" "Maybe," Elena said. "We see things differently. Sometimes a fresh look helps solve old problems." The Queen's skin went back to silver white. "Very well. Guard Captain Villain will show you the crown room. But remember, if you cannot find it by tomorrow night, the ceremony cannot happen. This will mean war between many planets." Elena felt the weight of this job. So many lives depended on finding one crown. "I understand, Your Imperial Radiance. We will do our best." As the guards got ready to take her to the crown room, Elena saw something move near a side door. A small person was hiding behind a big hanging cloth. It was 6-year-old Princess Lisa Eth. The little princess was not supposed to be here. Royal children were kept away from serious grown-up business. But Elena could see the princess was very curious and worried about what was happening. Elena gave the child a small smile. She tried to show that everything would be okay. Princess Lisa Eth's skin showed blue and gold colors. These colors meant she had too many big feelings for someone so young. "Captain Torres," Queen Astronth said as they prepared to leave. "Is there anything special you need to do your work?" "Just time and quiet to think, Your Imperial Radiance," Elena replied. "You have both," the Queen said. Elena thought she heard something soft in the Queen's voice, but she could not be sure. As Elena left the throne room, she did not see Princess Lisa Eth come out from hiding. The little girl walked up to her mother's throne with big tears in her eyes. "Mama," the child whispered. "What happens if Elena cannot find the crown?" Queen Estranth looked down at her daughter. For just a moment, her face showed the fight between being a queen and being a mother. Then her face went back to showing no feelings. "Then there will be fighting, little star," the queen said softly. "Fighting that could hurt many people. But Elena is smart, Mama. She tells me about earth science and how humans solve problems. She makes everything sound like an adventure." The queen's skin showed the smallest bit of gold before going back to silver white. "Being smart does not always mean you can fix everything, Lisa Eth. Some problems are too big even for clever people." Princess Lisa Eth nodded, but her skin still showed deep blue worry colors. As her mother got ready for other royal business, the little girl began making her own plans. She would help Elena find the crown, even if she was not supposed to. The next morning came too fast. Elena had worked all night in the crown room with her special earth tools. She had found something very strange, but she was not sure what it meant. The crown room was in the center of the palace. It had no windows and only one door. The door had many locks and needed special keys to open. Guards watched it day and night. But Elena's tools showed something impossible. The crown had not been carried out through the door. It had somehow gone through the solid wall. But the wall showed no holes or cracks. "This does not make sense," Elena said to herself. She was looking at her readings for the 100th time. "Maybe I can help," said a small voice behind her. Elena turned around. Princess Lisa Eth was standing in the doorway. She was wearing a long coat that was too big for her. She must have snuck past the guards. "Princess," Elena said, "you should not be here. This is dangerous work." "I know the palace better than anyone," Lisa Eth said. "I play hide and seek everywhere. Maybe I know something that can help." Elena looked at the little girl. She was only 6 years old, but her eyes were very smart. "What do you know about this room, Princess?" Lisa Eth walked around the room slowly. Her small hands touched the walls in different places. "This room is special," she said. "It was built on top of the old treasure caves. The caves are still there, under the floor." Elena's heart started beating faster. "Are you sure about this?" "Yes. I found them when I was 4. There are tunnels that go all through the palace. But Mama does not know about them. I was supposed to keep it secret." Elena knelt down to look at the little girl. "Princess, if these tunnels are real, someone could have used them to steal the crown. But that means someone in the palace did it. Someone who knew about the tunnels." Lisa Eth's skin showed scared purple colors. "You mean someone who lives here stole Mama's crown?" "Maybe," Elena said. "Can you show me these tunnels?" The princess thought for a moment. "If I show you, will you promise to find the crown and stop the fighting?" "I promise to try my very best," Elena said. Lisa Eth nodded. She walked to a corner of the room and pushed on a stone that looked just like all the others. The stone moved, and a small opening appeared in the wall. "I have to make myself very small to fit," Lisa Eth said. "But you are bigger. I do not know if you can fit." Elena looked at the opening. It was small, but she thought she could squeeze through. "Let's try." The princess went first. Elena followed, pushing herself through the tight space. On the other side was a tunnel that was just tall enough for Elena to crawl through. The tunnels go everywhere, Lisa Eth whispered. To the kitchen, to the guard rooms, to the tower where Mama keeps her private things. They crawled through the dark tunnel. Elena used a light from her toolkit to see where they were going. The tunnels were old but well-made. Someone had built them long ago as secret ways through the palace. After crawling for what felt like a long time, they came to a bigger space. Elena could stand up here. There were tunnels going in many different directions. Which way goes to the crown room from here? Elena asked. Lisa Eth pointed to a tunnel on their left. That one goes up to the room where the crown was. Elena looked up and saw something that made her excited. There was a small hole in the ceiling above them. It was just big enough for someone to pass something through. Princess, I think someone used these tunnels to steal the crown. They came down here and took it up through that hole. Lisa Eth looked up at the hole. But Mama said the room was locked from inside. How could someone be in the room? Elena thought about this. What if two people worked together? One person was in the room during the day when it was normal to be there. They pushed the crown down through this hole. Then their helper took it away through the tunnels. That means someone Mama trusts did this, Lisa Eth said. Her voice was very sad. Elena nodded. I think so. But now we need to figure out who it was and where they hid the crown. They spent the next 2 hours exploring the tunnels. Elena made a map of where everything connected. She was looking for a place where someone might hide a heavy crown. Finally, they found something important. In a tunnel that led toward the guard quarters, there was a loose stone in the wall. Behind the stone was a space just big enough for a crown. But the space was empty. Someone was here, Elena said. But they moved the crown somewhere else. Lisa Eth looked at the empty space. Maybe they got scared when Mama started looking for it. Elena checked the ground with her tools. She found tiny pieces of crystal that matched the crown. The crown was here for sure. But where would they move it now? Captain Torres, said a voice from behind them. Elena and Lisa Eth turned around fast. Court Advisor Villain was standing in the tunnel behind them. He did not look happy. Princess Lisa Eth, your mother is looking for you everywhere. And Captain Torres, you are not supposed to be in these secret tunnels. Elena felt her heart sink. Had Villain followed them? Or was he already in the tunnels for another reason? Advisor Villain, Elena said carefully. How did you know about these tunnels? Villain's skin showed quick color changes. He was nervous about something. The royal family is not the only one who knows palace secrets, Captain. Some of us have worked here for many years. Lisa Eth stepped closer to Elena. The little girl seemed scared of Villain now. Elena made a quick decision. Advisor Villain, we found where the crown was hidden, but it has been moved. Do you have any ideas where someone might take it now? Villain was quiet for a long time. His skin kept changing colors. Finally, he said, follow me. There is something you need to see. He led them through the tunnels to a part Elena had not seen before. They came to a room that was carved out of the rock under the palace. The room was full of old things that looked very valuable. And sitting on a table in the middle of the room was the crystal crown of stars. Advisor Villain, Elena said slowly. Did you take the crown? Villain's skin turned deep blue, which meant he was very sad. Not for bad reasons, Captain Torres. I was trying to protect it. Protect it from what? Elena asked. From Noble House Representative Kether, Villain said. I heard him talking with some guards. They were planning to steal the crown and blame it on the Earth people. This would stop the peace talks and start a war. Elena felt shocked. Are you sure about this? I have been watching him for weeks. He does not want peace with Earth. He thinks humans will make Velar people weak. Princess Lisa Eth looked at the beautiful crown. It was covered with crystals that looked like tiny stars. So you took it first to keep it safe? Yes, little princess. But then I did not know how to give it back without getting in trouble for taking it. Elena understood now. You were trying to do the right thing, but you got stuck. Villain nodded. The ceremony is tonight. If we do not return the crown soon, Queen Estranth will think the Earth people stole it. There will be war. Elena looked at her watch. They had only 4 hours before the ceremony. We need to get this crown back to the Queen right away. But we also need to prove that Representative Kether was planning to steal it. How can we do that? Lisa Eth asked. Elena thought fast. Advisor Villain, do you have any proof of what Representative Kether was planning? Villain reached into his coat and pulled out a small recording device. I recorded him talking to the guards. I was going to give this to the Queen after the ceremony was safely over. Elena smiled. Perfect. Now here is what we are going to do. 1 hour later, the throne room was full of people again. Queen Estranth sat on her throne looking very worried. Her skin was dark blue, which meant she was afraid but trying to hide it. Representative Kether stood with some other nobles. He kept looking at Captain Elena Torres with mean eyes. He thought she had failed to find the crown. Your Imperial Radiance, Elena said as she stepped forward. I have found your crown. The whole room started talking at once. Queen Estranth held up her hand for quiet. Where was it, Captain Torres? The Queen asked. It was stolen by someone who lives in this palace. Someone who used the old secret tunnels to take it. Representative Kether stepped forward. Are you saying one of us is a thief? That is an insult to every noble family. Elena looked right at him. I am saying that someone planned to steal the crown and blame Earth people for it. This would have stopped the peace talks and started a war. That is a serious accusation, Queen Estranth said. Do you have proof? Elena nodded to Advisor Villain. He stepped forward with the recording device. Your Imperial Radiance, Villain said. I have a recording of Representative Kether planning to steal the crown with some palace guards. The Queen's skin showed gold patterns of surprise. Play this recording. The sound filled the throne room. Everyone could hear Representative Kether's voice talking about taking the crown and making it look like the Earth people did it. Representative Kether's skin turned white with shock. This recording is fake. You cannot prove anything. Actually, we can, said a small voice from the side of the room. Everyone turned to see Princess Lisa Eth walking forward. She was carrying the crystal crown of stars. I helped find the crown, Mama. It was hidden in the old caves under the palace. Advisor Villain took it to keep it safe from the bad people who wanted to steal it. Queen Estranth looked at her daughter with surprise and pride. Lisa Eth, you were supposed to stay in your rooms. I know, Mama. But Elena needed help, and I know the palace better than anyone. We make a good team. Elena knelt down next to the princess. Your Imperial Radiance, your daughter was very brave and smart. Without her help, we never would have found the crown in time. The Queen stood up and walked down from her throne. She took the crown from her daughter's hands and looked at it carefully. The crown is real, she announced. The ceremony can happen tonight. She turned to Representative Kether. You will be arrested for planning to steal royal property and for trying to start a war between our peoples. Representative Kether tried to run, but the guards caught him quickly. His skin was showing all kinds of colors as he was taken away. Queen Astronth looked at advisor Vilain. You took the crown without permission, but you did it to protect our people. Your punishment will be light because your heart was good. Then she looked at Elena. Captain Torres, once again you have helped our people when we needed it most. The peace talks will continue as planned. Elena smiled. Your Imperial Radiance, I could not have done it without Princess Lisa Eth. She is very wise for someone so young. The Queen looked at her daughter with soft eyes. Yes, she is. Lisa Eth, you disobeyed my orders by leaving your rooms. The little princess looked down at her feet. I am sorry, Mama. But, the Queen continued, you also showed courage and wisdom that helped save both our peoples from war. I am proud of you. Lisa Eth's face lit up with joy. Really, Mama? Really, little star. Today you showed me that sometimes the best leaders are willing to break small rules to prevent big disasters. Elena watched this moment between mother and daughter with warm feelings. 6 months ago, she had come to Velar as just a soldier following orders. Now she felt like part of a family that spanned the stars. Captain Torres, Queen Astronth said. There is something I want to give you before tonight's ceremony. She reached into her robes and pulled out a small crystal pendant. This is the Star of Friendship. It is given to people who have earned the trust and love of the royal family. Elena took the pendant with shaking hands. Your Imperial Radiance, I am honored. You have more than earned it, the Queen said. And Lisa Eth has asked me to make sure you can visit us often. Lisa Eth ran up to Elena and hugged her legs. Will you come back and tell me more Earth stories? Elena hugged the little girl back. As many as you want to hear, Princess. That night, the ceremony went perfectly. The crystal crown of stars shined with beautiful light as Queen Astronth performed the ancient ritual that would keep peace between all the planets in their part of space. Elena stood with the other Earth diplomats, watching the amazing ceremony. But the best part was seeing Princess Lisa Eth standing next to her mother, learning how to be a future queen. After the ceremony, Elena and Lisa Eth sat in the palace garden under the stars. Elena, the princess said. Will there really be peace now between Earth and Velar? Elena looked up at the stars that shined above both their worlds. I think so, Princess. Today we learned that when people work together and trust each other, they can solve any problem. Even when bad people try to stop them? Especially then, Elena said. Because friendship is stronger than fear, and truth is stronger than lies. Lisa Eth smiled and held Elena's hand. I want to be the kind of queen who chooses friendship over fear. Elena squeezed the little girl's hand. You already are, Princess. You already are. As they sat together under the stars, Elena knew that this was just the beginning of a friendship that would help bring peace to the galaxy. Sometimes the most important adventures start with a child's brave heart and a willingness to crawl through dark tunnels to find the light. The crystal crown of stars was safe, the peace talks would continue, and two worlds had learned that trust was the most valuable treasure of all. 6 months later, Elena returned to Velar for another visit. Princess Lisa Eth had learned to speak perfect English and had taught Elena many Velar words. They spent their days exploring the palace, the legal parts this time, and their evenings looking at the stars and planning all the ways Earth and Velar could help each other. Queen Estranth watched her daughter and her Earth friend with happiness. The peace treaty had been signed, trade between the worlds was growing, and her daughter was learning lessons about leadership that no book could teach. "Mama," Lisa Eth said one evening, "when I am queen someday, I want Elena to be my advisor." Queen Estranth smiled. "That sounds like a very wise choice, little star." Elena looked at the little princess who had become like a sister to her. "I would be honored to help you lead with wisdom and kindness, princess." As the three of them watched the stars together, they knew they were seeing the beginning of a new age of peace and friendship between worlds. And it had all started with a child's love, a stolen crown, and the courage to crawl through dark places to find the truth. The palace walls glowed with warm golden light, showing that everyone inside was happy and hopeful for the future. The crystal crown of stars sat safely in its special room, but the real treasure was the friendship that had grown between Earth and Velar, protected by the wisdom of a little princess who knew that the best adventures always end with everyone safe and happy. The end.